Good morning, girls. So today's topic is genetics and the Mendelian laws for it. Now, when we talk about genetics, who is the father of genetics, ma?
Gregor Johann Mendel.
G.J.
Gregor Mendel.
Mendel. Yes, it is Gregor Johann Mendel who is the father of genetics. Now, what is genetics? Study of genes, right? So, when we talk about genetics, there are certain terminologies which we need to go through. Yesterday, also, we had an introduction class about it, right? So, here it is what is a gene? A gene is a basic physical unit, functional unit of hereditary. So genes are made up of DNA, and some genes act as instruction to make molecules which are called as proteins. That is what is the main function of DNA is, right? To make the proteins. What is DNA then? DNA is a short form of deoxyribonucleic acid and the molecule that contains the genetic code of the organism, right? They contain the genetic code of the organism. DNA is a short deoxyribonucleic acid and it's a molecule that contains the genetic code. What are chromosomes? Chromosomes are the genetic information carriers. So each human chromosome has two arms, the short arm, which is P, and the long arm, which is Q. So a chromosome contains roughly equal parts of protein as well as the DNA. Then we come to what is called as an allele. Sorry, allele. What is an allele? Alleles are forms of same gene with small differences in their sequence of DNA. They are similar genes. We cannot say same. We say they are similar genes with slight differences. And there is something called as multiple alleles. Three or more alternative form. That is a same gene having different alternative forms but coding for a similar characteristic is called as multiple alleles. And they occupy the same locus. Locus is the point in which the gene is present in the DNA. So, however, only two alleles can be present in a single organism. Okay, for example, in humans, you have the ABO blood group system, which is controlled by three alleles, only two of which are present in an individual. There is either A, B, O, like that, right? So when we study allele systems in detail, we can do it in detail. Okay. Then loci. What is loci? On any given chromosome, the locus represents a location on which a gene is present. So a gene is a segment of the DNA that codes for a protein that expresses some given trait, a specific trait, a phenotypic trait, basically within the individual chromosome. Usually certain thousands of different loci are present in a single chromosome because a single chromosome is responsible for so many characters, right? So within a chromosome, there'll be thousands of loci, which means thousands of genes. So difference between loci and allele. What is the difference between an allele and a loci? Alleles are variants of the same gene that occur on the same place of the chromosome, whereas locus refers to the location on the chromosome. Do you understand? Alleles are variants of the same gene present on the loci, whereas loci is the location on the chromosome where the gene is present. Then introns. We studied yesterday itself, right? What are introns? The intervening sequences which do not code for any information are called as introns. During splicing, these introns only will be removed. Then you have exons. What are exons? Exon is any part of the gene that encodes a part of the final mature RNA. You remember transcription translation, right? The central dogma of protein synthesis. From DNA, the information has to be passed on to the mRNA. Then the mRNA translate the information to produce the protein, right? So this exon is any part of a gene that will encode, which means it will decipher, the encode the final mature RNA produced by that gene after introns have been removed by RNA splicing. So the term exon refers to both the DNA sequence within a gene and the corresponding sequence of RNA transcripts. Okay, then you have what is called as recon. What is recon? A unit of genetic recombination, the smallest section of the chromosome that is capable of recombination. The small section, because that is where the change or exchange of genetic material takes place. And what is muton? The smallest element of genetic material capable of undergoing a distinct mutation, usually identified a single pair of nucleotide. Usually a single pair of nucleotide only. Then we come to the current topic, which is Mendelian laws. What do you understand by the term Mendelian laws? Now, Gregor Johann Mendel postulated three laws. The first law being the law of segregation. What do you understand by the term law of segregation? Can anybody tell me? That is, each inherited trait is defined by a pair of genes. Inherited trait means a trait or a phenotypic characteristics getting inherited from one generation to other generation. That is what is called as inherited trait. So each inherited trait is defined by a gene pair. So the parental genes are randomly separated to the sex cells. They are randomly separated to the sex cells and contain only one gene of a pair. Okay, so out of a pair, they have only one, a single one, because from diploid they become what is called as haploid. Okay, so it contains only one gene. So what happens is offsprings therefore inherit one allele from each parent when sex cells unite in fertilization. Yes or no? Because the sperm will contain haploid number, the egg will contain haploid number. When they unite, they become a pair of gene. So they become, the embryo becomes the diploid. Then comes what is called as law of independent assortment. Genes from different traits are sorted separately from one another so that inheritance of one trait is not dependent on the inheritance of the other. Do you understand? The inheritance of one trait is independent with the inheritance of other trait. They do not depend on each other for the process of inheritance. Third is the law of dominance. An organism with alternate form of gene will express the form that is dominant. That is what is called as law of dominance. So when we talk about these three laws, based on these three laws, Gregor Mendel conducted a few practicals using what is called as a plant Pisum sativum. What is the common name of Pisum sativum?
Pea plant.
Correct.
Plant.
Yeah. So pea plant, which is Pisum sativum. So based with this, before going to this experiment, he selected 7 characters of this plant and conducted a few experiments. First was the monohybrid cross. The monohybrid cross states it's a genetic mix between two individuals with homozygous genotype, but results in opposite phenotypes. See, you should know what is homozygous and what is heterozygous. What is homozygous? What is a genotype? What is a phenotype? First define that.
Genotype means the genetic ratio, ma'am. Phenotype means where by the external appearance we give the ratio for that. That is called as phenotype ratio.
Ever the genotype and phenotype be same?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Hmm. How does
It's
it
not
differ?
same always. How does it differ? If a plant may look tall, but it may be a heterozygous tallness. So it comes under in phenotypically it comes under the tallness. When we compare it genotypically, it is a heterozygous tall. So the ratio might not be same always.
Good, Hajarama. Now see, so this is what is monohybrid cross. Next slides, I will go in detail with each and every cross. Okay. Then you have dihybrid. The mono means one characteristics was taken into consideration, whereas in dihybrid cross, two characteristics were taken into consideration and seen how the genetic inheritance goes from F1 generation to F2 generation. Then he also did what is called as test cross. What is test cross? A heterozygous being paired with a homozygous plant and seeing what is the resulting phenotype. So he has done different experiments to see how the resulting phenotype and genotype results. So we first start with what is called as what are the 7 characters, because this is one of the important, objective type questions will come from here. So here what happens is there are 7 characters of pea plant which were used by Mendel study. First one was length of the stem, then shape of the pod, then shape of the seed, color of the seed, position of the flower, flower color, and pod color was taken. But in monohybrid and dihybrid, today we will be restricted to 2 main characteristics, which is the stem length. Here we say tall, right? So when it is tall, a gene will always be represented in a pair, right? It always represented as a pair. So here we call it as TT, capital T, capital T. Whereas recessive trait will be given as TT, small t, small t. So this is homozygous dominant and this is homozygous recessive. A tall plant is a dominant characteristic, whereas a dwarf plant is a recessive characteristic. In genetic studies, you have 2 types of characters. One is a dominant character, one is a recessive character. A dominant character will represent itself both in homo and heterozygous condition, whereas recessive character will be represented only in homozygous condition and not in heterozygous condition. Do you understand? Yes. Are you able to catch up with the point till now, ma? Okay.
Yes,
The
ma'am.
second, yeah. And the second character which you are going to take into consideration is shape of the seed. Round and wrinkled. So round we represent as capital R, whereas wrinkled as small r, small r. Then seed color. The tall and dwarf will be using it for monohybrid cross. But whereas round and yellow color will be using for dihybrid cross. Yellow dominant will be represented as double Y, whereas the green recessive color will be represented as small y. புரிஞ்சுதாம்மா? Do you understand till now? So always the genes will be represented in a pair. Okay, so based on this, we'll go to the next part of the class today, which is the monohybrid cross. Now see, when we talk about monohybrid cross, we are saying we have taken how many characteristics into account? Only 1 characteristics, right? So out of this 1 characteristics, you can see first we are talking about the parent generation. You're taking a pure yellow, which is homozygous dominant, and a pure green, which is homozygous recessive. Yes or no? So when they separate as single gene, you get y, small y. Yes. So for the F1 generation, 1 gamete from dominant plant and 1 gamete from recessive plant unite together to form a hybrid yellow seed. Yes, which is phenotypically tall, but genotypically heterozygous. Phenotypically means as it looks tall, but its gene has both the characters. It has 1 tall gene and 1 dwarf gene. But the dwarf gene is not represented because the dwarf gene will not be represented when a dominant gene is present. Both have to be a recessive gene. Only then the dwarf phenotype will be represented. Do you get the point? You should keep in mind the terminologies: phenotype, genotype. Phenotype
Yes,
na
ma'am.
external characteristics. Genotype na adoda genetic constituent. புரிஞ்சுதா? Okay, so we take what is called as this F1 generation. This F1 generation is what? It is a hybrid yellow seed. So it has 1 Y and 1 small y. So what happens is in second generation, what happens? These genes separate from this hybrid yellow. You get Y, Y, small y. So 4 gametes you are getting. So first combination is capital Y. You get a pure yellow. then capital Y and a small y, you get one hybrid. Then again, this small y and this capital Y, you get two hybrids. Finally, it is one small y and another small y. You get a pure green, double recessive. So, what is the ratio here? Phenotype ratio is, what is the
3
phenotype
is to
ratio?
1, ma'am. 3 is to 1.
3:1, ma'am.
Three is
Ratio
to 1.
is 1
Phenot
is to 1. One pure tall, two hybrid tall, one pure yellow, two hybrid yellow, and one pure green,
Ma'am, actually, I
recessive
had
green.
a tiny doubt, ma'am. Like in school, they told that 3:1 ratio, three plants would look green,
Yeah,
the,
no,
and one of them would be yellow.
green is the recessive character, ma. How will green be shown? See, I'll go to the previous slide. You can see here in the seed color, you can see the third point, seed color. Seed color, yellow color is a dominant color. Green color is a recessive color. Recessive color எப்படி 3:1 வரும்? Dominant தான் 3 வரும். இது மட்டும் ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்கோங்க always.
Okay, ma'am.
Dominant டபுள் பாசிட்டிவா இருந்தாலும் சரி, சிங்கிள் பாசிட்டிவா இருந்தாலும் அதோட கேரக்டர் தான் முதல்ல ரெப்ரசென்ட் பண்ணும். The dominant character will be seen whether the plant is homozygous or heterozygous. Whereas for a recessive gene, the genotype should be homozygous. Only when then the phenotype of the recessive character be represented, or else it will not.
Okay,
You
ma'am.
understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So with this, is monohybrid cross clear to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Any other doubt? Do you want me to repeat?
No, ma'am.
See, monohybrid clause, if you are still having a doubt, capital Y, small y, capital Y, small y, right? But for the parents, it is Y, 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 Y. When the genes separate, we get this as the first progeny. So this progeny, we are again breeding with another hybrid. So you put a column like this. Sorry. Right. So we have a capital Y, a small y, capital Y, small y. This will be called as the female gamete. These are the male one. Okay. So Y into Y, what will this be?
Dwarf.
I, capital Y, capital Y.
It'll
dominant
be a tall
dominant
plant.
character, ma'am.
Tall plant. And it is a homozygous tall plant. Okay. So next என்ன பண்றேன்? This Y and this Y I'm taking. What is this?
Tall.
Heterozygous, ma'am.
Yes,
Heterozygous tall.
heterozygous tall. Third பாருங்க, I'm taking this Y and this small y. What is this?
Heterozygous, ma'am.
Again, a
Heterozygous star.
heterozygous tall
Homozygous
plant.
tall. So finally, I'm taking the small y and the small y. What is this?
Homozygous
Homozygous recessive.
dwarf plant.
Yeah.
எல்லாரும் ஸ்கூல்ல ஒரு விளையாட்டு விளையாடிருப்பீங்கல்ல, இப்படி போட்டா into zero into zero.
Yes, ma'am.
It's as simple as that.
It's
You
so
just have to mix these genes together and write the characteristics. Y எழுதுறோம், Y எழுதுறோம், Y. So based on the genotype, we write the phenotype. Do you understand? It's very simple.
Yes.
So monohybrid cross symbol are very common questions for your 5 mark. So you should be thorough with this. You should know what are the parents. From that, what is the first hybrid F1, and that hybrid we have another hybrid and go for F2 generation. So with this, we get a ratio of 3:1, which is the phenotype. 1:2:1 is the genotype. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now we come to the second cross. What is this cross called as? Dihybrid cross. When I say dihybrid, automatically it means I am going to consider how many characteristics? Two characteristics, right? So two characters. What are the two characteristics here we are taken into consideration?
Round and
Round
color.
shape of the seed
Color
and
and
The
seed
color.
shape,
dominant
ma'am.
seed and the recessive seed.
No, dominant seed and color. Two characters of the seed. Seed and color, sorry, the shape and color of the seed are the two characteristics which we have selected here now. So what happens here is one first parental gene is round and yellow. Both are dominant. Shape round is dominant and color yellow is dominant. So how are we representing? Capital R, capital R, capital Y, capital Y. ஒன் ஜீன்னாலே பேர்ல தான் ரெப்ரசென்ட் பண்றோம். இதுல ரெண்டு ஜீன் இருக்குல்ல, ஒன்னு வந்து சைஸ் ஆஃப் தி ஷேப் ஆஃப் தி சீடு, இன்னொன்னு கலர் ஆஃப் தி சீடு இருக்கா இல்லையா? ரைட். ஸோ வி ஹவ் டேக்கன் போத் த கேரக்டர்ஸ் ரவுண்ட் எல்லோ. அதுக்கு ஜஸ்ட் ஆப்போசிட் ரெசிசிவ் அது எப்படி இருக்கும்? wrinkled, which we give the opposite of capital R as small r small r. And yellow opposite, what is the recessive color of the seed? Green color. And how is that represented as small y and small y, right? So both are capital R, capital R, capital Y is the first parent, dominant parent, homozygous dominant, and this is homozygous recessive. So from here we take out one gene, one. So capital R, small r, capital Y, small y will be the first hybrid. Yes or no? First generation. Because two characteristics we are taking. Yes or no, girls? So,
Yes, ma'am.
family goes in for second generation. We take into four. Capital R, capital Y, capital R, small y, small r, capital Y, small r, small y. Do you understand? Just a minute. So what have we taken? This is the parent. Yes, right? From
Yes,
this
ma'am.
we have taken R.
Capital R, small r, capital Y, and small y.
This is the first progeny. Okay, from this I am going to make a 1, 2, 3, 4. Four pairs, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so இதுல capital R, capital Y, first combination. Capital R, capital Y. Second is capital R, small y. Right? Third is small r, capital Y.
Capital Y.
Fourth is small r, small y. Right? So this is one male. For the female, we write the same thing. 1 second. So same gametes we write here. Okay. Now we are going to do what is called as combining and writing the characteristics. First, we'll represent the shape. Then we'll write what is called as the color. So RR, YY. These two. Okay, line by line we'll go. So next this one and this one. RR, capital Y, small y. Then this one. RR, capital Y, capital Y. Then R, R, capital Y, small y. Right? Yes or no? Did all
Yes,
of you
ma'am.
get it, ma? See, when
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
doing it, simultaneously work it out in your notebooks also. It will be easy for you to do it. Second one, you see R, R, capital Y, small y. So R, small y, small y. Capital R, capital R, capital Y, small y. Capital R, small y, small y. Right? Then comes capital R, capital Y, capital Y. Capital R, capital Y, small y. Small r, capital Y, small y. Small r, capital Y, small y. Finally, capital R, capital r, capital Y, small y. This one. Capital R, small y, small y. So finally, small r, capital Y, small y. And the last one is Gauri, தூங்காதீங்க.
மேம் ஐம் நாட் ஸ்லீப்பிங் மேம் எனக்கு அந்த ஃபிளாஷ் கண்ணு பண்ணால அப்படி இருக்கு மேம்
It looked you were going to drowse on the.
நோ மேம் அந்த லைட் ஃபிளாஷ்க்கு அப்படி இருக்கு மேம்
Small r, small y, small y. இவ்வளவு நாள் கேமரா ஆஃப் பண்ணி வச்சு பழகிடுச்சுல்ல, அதான் வேற ஒண்ணும் இல்லை. Okay, now we have 4 characters here now. See, I'll show you. Previous slide. You can see this one. See, you can see here the color marking. Capital R, this ones. So these, all are round and yellow because at least one out of the 4 genes available, at least one gene will be a dominant gene. Okay, so it is round and yellow, right? All these. Totally, how many are there? 9. You can see how I put a mark. A triangle. You can see top line, left line, and one line connecting in the center of the table or the box. It is 9. Then you have hybrid variety, new variety now. Okay, what is it, new variety? Round and green, because you have what is called as R, capital R. Yes or no? You have a capital R for round structure, but you do not have a dominant gene for shape, or what do you call color. You have only both recessive genes, small y, small y, small y, small y. You can see small y, small y, small y. So it will be green, round and green. How many are there? 3. You can see how is this now? 1, 2. A open triangle. Right? Then comes the third characteristic, which is again a new characteristics. You have all recessive gene for the shape of the seed. See, double R, double R, double R. Because the recessive character will be represented only when it is double recessive. Both the genes should have the recessive gene. So 2 R's are recessive genes. So they are, yes ma, what for it?
Wrinkled but yellow color.
Yes, because why yellow color? Because at least one of the Y is capital Y. You can see here both the Y's are capital. Here out of 2Y, one is capital. Here out of 2Y, one is capital. So this is a small closed triangle. Yellow and wrinkled. So this is another 3. And finally, what do you have? Wrinkled and green, which is the double recessive. So this is how the phenotypic ratio of a dihybrid cross is written. 9:3:3:1. Do you understand? So the only thing you have to come to is the first part. You know what are the 2 parents? Double R, double Y, caps, double R, double Y, small letters. Dominant, recessive. Out of that, you take one characteristics. Capital R, capital Y, and small y. Then from that, you make a pair of genes with combination. As we did in monohybrid cross, you make combinations, right? You make combinations, 4 combinations from this one. This is the F1 generation. From this generation, we make these 4 combinations. 1, 2, 3, 4. And these 4 combinations, you put it on the either side of the table. One on the top and one on the left hand side. And we start writing the characters. You cannot make mistake in this at all because you just have to copy from this part and this part. This is 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. One thing will be common on the left side. For the second row it is 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Third one is 1 2 1 2 1 and this one. Third, this one, right? And the last one is this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one, this one, and this one. That is how you come to that combinations. You'll have this one as common and copy from above. In second row, this will be the common. Above combinations you copy. In third row, this will be common. Above rows you copy. In fourth row, this will be common. Above rows you copy and make a combination. And while writing this, you will see to that you write the characteristics in such a way that both round characters first and color characters later. That is shape first and color later. So that you'll get the correct answer. And when you go in this format, you can get this checkerboard. You call it as checkerboard. And to identify the ratio 9 is to 3 is to 1, whether you have done it correctly or not, the simple triangle 1 2 3, they are 9, tall and round. Second triangle, open triangle, you can see round and green. Third closed triangle, wrinkled and yellow. Final, wrinkled and green. So with this, you come to the ultimate answer, which is 9 is to 3 is to 3 is to 1, which is your dihybrid cross phenotypic ratio. Are you clear with this?
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubts?
No, ma'am.
Can anybody draw this checkerboard and show it to me? You have your screen, you have your Jamboards, right? Will anybody be interested in doing this?
Ma'am,
Showing your paper. Okay. Others, show your papers if you have done. Very good, Divya Lakshmi. Gauri, paper inga. Gauri, where is your paper?
Ma'am, can you see my book?
Asfia, I can see your paper, ma.
Okay, ma'am.
Gauri, eldave illa. Engadhu kaamipanga. Kameshwari, Yasmin, I have seen. Gayatri, I am able to see. Sri Lekha, I am able to see.
Ma'am, in the தெரியுதா ma'am?
Kameshwari தெரியுது. இப்போ தெரியுதா எவ்வளவு ஈஸின்னு சொல்லி இந்த dihybrid cross? Yes. Yes. Now we have the last one, which is the test cross. Test cross பாத்தீங்கன்னா, it is between a dominant phenotype and an unknown genotype. Because dominant phenotype, that is represented, but the genotype is unknown. We don't know what is the gene combination, whether it is heterozygous or homozygous. And it is crossed with what is called as a recessive phenotype and a known genotype. The characteristics is phenotypically seen, plus the genotype is also known, right? So this could be either PP or P, and this could be small p only. So what happens is we'll get two answers, two predictions. One is, so capital P, capital P, capital P, capital P. Oh, sorry, small p, capital P. So what happens when you make a combination? You get all heterozygous. Whereas if the sperm is heterozygous, you have capital P, small p, capital P, small p, small p, small p, small p, small p. So it is 2 is to 2. Whereas if it is heterozygous, you get what is called as all 4 phenotypically dominant, but
If it's
genotypically
homozygous.
homozygous. Is it clear? If it is homozygous, they all are dominant. Is it clear, ma? Do you understand the test cross? One is unknown genotype, the other is a known genotype. This is how a test cross and a back cross is being done. This is how a back cross is. You take a pure tall plant and a pure dwarf plant, you get one hybrid. And that hybrid will be what do you call ongoing with the parent, which is a dominant. So in that you get 2:2, or genotypically it is 2:2, whereas phenotypically they all are 4 tall plants, because the recessive gene is represented only in single, not as double. Is it clear, ma? So with this, we come to the end of monohybrid and dihybrid cross, which is the Mendelian's law of genetics, the basis of Mendelian law of genetics. Is this done? So with this, we come to the end of the first part of your genetics syllabus, which is the Mendelian genetic laws. 1 second. One second.